All right, we are back. Welcome to the Concussion Protocol podcast. Week 1 in the books, and it delivered, everybody. Holy cow, that was an exciting week. Lots of teams that way overperformed. Go Seminoles. Lots of teams that tragically underperformed. Horns down. And everything in between. We had games that were unwatchable because they were so tragically unskillful. And then we had games that were unwatchable because the multi-billion-dollar companies couldn't get a stream to work, and everything in between. We are going to recap all of it. We're going to talk about what it means for next week and the big picture. We're going to cheer and we're going to celebrate because some big things happened that we've been waiting for a long time. And then we're going to mourn. We're going to mourn the last shreds of Paul Feinbaum's credibility as an analyst. And then, of course, we've got our weekly top 10 list. We've got a Vegas picks of the week coming at you. And we have some other things that are going to be happening at the end of the show. It is time. We've been hyping it up. What's up, Chance?
I just noticed it's getting a little hot in here. I don't know why I have a hoodie on. Jeez.
Oh!
Wow. That's petty. That is petty.
Is it petty?
Did you buy that?
That's really petty. I know for a fact you didn't own that shirt.
Did I buy it? All I gotta say is it costs less than a wheel spin.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but honestly, like, it's fair.
Let me roll my eyes.
Yeah,
to the camera real quick.
You earned it. You earned it fair and square, man. And we're gonna eat it. We're gonna eat that heat. We thought it was gonna take an entire season to get a hot take done, but you did it in the first game of week 1.
Thanks, Boise State.
And it was a doozy. Yeah, come on, Broncos. Ugh. We're going to get to all of it. We're going to get to the wheel spins. There are 2 this week. It's all coming right at you. But first, let's talk about the big noon kickoff that ended up being one of the most underwhelming top 3 matchups you'll ever see. Ohio State took down the Texas Longhorns in week 1 at home. Number 1 Texas went in there with what we thought was the future of football himself, the heir to the throne, the one and only greatest player since Tim Tebow in Arch Manning. And how did it go? Anybody remember that one? And I'm only saying that because I don't remember him doing anything that whole game.
I don't know. I was falling asleep during that game. I was so bored during that game. I was so underwhelmed by both sides of the, like, honestly, the defense has played great, but it was just such a boring game to watch because you expected Arch Manning was hyped up so much to be this guy you'd expect him to, I don't know, get a touchdown maybe, or maybe 2. I don't know, get a first down in the first 3 quarters maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I would have taken a first down over a touchdown half the time just to see something happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one being week 1, and we have no idea if Ohio State just has the best defense to ever face the earth or if he's just bad. I will say this, though. Have you guys seen the videos where it shows every single pass that he's done? Have you guys seen any of those?
I dedicated enough time to that game than to give it more of my time.
I watched some of them, and I swear he went like, I think 17 for 30, and like 13 of his completions were just sideline passes.
Yep.
Like screens.
Yep.
Like there was nothing. There was nothing to show for. It was crazy.
You know what the biggest thing that I was kind of floored by? His arm strength didn't look like it was there. He looked weak with his throwing arm. Like he looked like he was trying to make a good decision, but he couldn't get there was no zip on the ball. None.
Honestly, the thing that I noticed the most was what everyone talked about, because I watched the entire Lee Corso tribute, like college game day, like build up. Everyone, and even in the preseason, talking about how poised Arch Manning was, how like he didn't show emotion and he was ready. And that entire game, I didn't see him have one snap where he looked poised. He looked panicked the entire game. And I know he's playing the defending national champions. He's playing the number 3 team in the nation with one of the best defenses probably in the nation. But to look that shook the entire game, not have any type of poise or composure, when you're sitting on a team that's supposed to have number 1 talent, you should be very comfortable knowing that your team is ready for that. And then just you didn't look that way. All of his throws were, there was like 3 throws in one quarter that were just low at the receiver's feet, and then a couple that just whizzed way over their head, and some of them were wide open. And it was really disappointing. Like I don't think it's completely indicative of like who he's going to be. I think he's going to progress, but he was obviously overhyped. He was not ready for the moment. I do think he will get better as the season goes, but I don't know. Obviously, he fell off the Heisman favorite list real quick, so I don't think he's got any chance for that now. But he could definitely come back and be a solid quarterback for this team, I think, later in the season.
Yeah, it was rough, and I mean, to be entirely fair, we're not just ragging on Texas. I was not impressed by what I saw from Ohio State's offense.
No.
The alleged greatest player in college football on both sides of the ball, between, or I guess the two is what I mean, between Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs. Like, I mean, yeah, the defense looked awesome, but also I don't think they were tested at all, so it's really hard to see them. Jeremiah Smith, man, you want to talk about another guy that Arch Manning didn't live up to his hype, but that neither did Jeremiah Smith, and his expectations were way higher. He missed some wide open throws. He was not as athletic as he looked by the end of the season last year. And
Did you see, Connor, how many times they double teamed him though? He was double teamed the whole game.
Hey, you don't think Notre Dame double teamed him last year?
I'm just saying that he was double. What wide receiver can blow up and put up superstar numbers being double teamed the whole game? I mean, if anything, you should be disappointed in the other receivers for Ohio State.
You know,
that's fair. Again, the offense looked impotent overall.
I mean,
you should be upset at Max Klein, a bunch of players, but I don't know about Jeremiah Smith. He was double teamed the entire game.
No, I could totally give him benefit of the doubt on that. I mean, when you're the best receiver and when you're favorited to be a Heisman candidate, like as a wide receiver, you are gonna get double teamed. It's gonna happen. But there was, I think, 3 plays, I think 2 in a row. He was wide open. He dropped it. Just took it. The first one, he just took his eyes off the ball. It was just a bubble screen. Just drops it. Second, then the play right after that, another drop. And that's on him. That's not double coverage. That's him being uncomfortable at home. Like if this was at Texas, maybe you could have an excuse for it, but that was bad. And I do agree that, his team has to step up. If he's getting double covered, someone's got to be open. But their offense did not look that good either. Their quarterback did good. He played the game manager role. He made no mistakes, and with a team like Ohio State's, that's all he needed to do to win. And so he got it done. But there's a lot of people that are hyping him up like crazy now that he won that game. Like he was the huge difference in that game. He had 1 or 2 really good throws, but outside of that is just game management. So,
right.
Yeah. So we've said probably everything there is to say on that subject. I'm glad that it's over. I'm a little sad that we didn't get to see the hype that it was. Beautiful send off to Lee Corso, though. That was nice to have that tribute. He served this game honorably for several decades now, and college football is in a better place because he's been a part of it. That was cool to see. And pretty much every other team that was in the top 25, except for 2, did exactly what they were supposed to, except for a handful of games. Correction. Most of them went exactly as you were hoping to. They had solid victories over inferior opponents that they showed out. Chase, though, of the 3 top 15 matchups that we have discussed or that we haven't discussed yet, Are there any others that are jumping out at you? Anything else that you'd like to mention?
Oh man, it's my favorite subject to talk about. Down goes Bama. Florida State,
Woo!
baby. Woo!
Go Noles!
Go Noles. What a way to turn around. What a way to turn around from last season. To go from a 2-10 team to right out the gate upset Alabama. And I know it's not Alabama with Nick Saban like coming off a championship, but that is still an amazing feat for a team, and it really speaks volumes for how that team how that team's trajectory looks now. So I am very happy for that team, Florida State. They played an amazing game. That one was actually a lot more enjoyable to watch than the big noon matchup. And not just because Alabama lost, but because Castellanos made that game so entertaining with his feet and with his arm. And that dude, he called them out before that the entire preseason. He was calling them out, saying Nick Saban's not there to save them. We're taking them. And they had this boy from Boston College disrespecting them like that. And then they didn't use that as ammo to come in and just destroy him. They got absolutely destroyed by this guy. He walked all over them the entire game, and it was beautiful. I loved every minute of it. I was laughing myself into a coma, quite honestly.
Some of us had a really bad take beforehand because we said they got ran out of Boston College, and why would they do anything at Florida State? Man, was I wrong. That was an enjoyable game for sure. If he keeps it up, I might have to make an apology video. We'll see.
I think your apology video is going to come in the form of a cold take with Alabama's not top 10 defense, my friend.
Still lost season.
But they might appreciate it nonetheless.
It could,
sending one down to Tallahassee.
Chance, they could bounce back. It is still Alabama. I'm not completely delusional to think that there's never a chance for Alabama to drag themselves back to a playoff spot. I mean, the committee is going to give them extra chances. If they can win a majority, like at least 9 more games, probably 10, they're good. They'll be fine. But
they just need to hold Texas A&M Eastern to 3 yards. That's all. Whoever it is that Yale or whoever their easy peasy game is.
They got if they lost to Florida State, and not saying Florida State is a bad team, obviously they proved the whole world that they belong in the conversation and with that game. But if they can lose to that team, there's a lot of teams on their schedule that they're going to be iffy on, especially the road games. So I'm looking forward to see the rest of their games. Ty Simpson, it was his first game as a starter. I think he did okay. They lost, and I think he did okay. He a lot of the problem was the defense just not covering. Yes, you want him to score more and make more of an impact, but he kept escaping sacks. Like I think 5 or 6 times he should have been sacked for probably 10 yards, and he escaped. The problem was he couldn't convert after that. He would get out and he would throw an inaccurate on the run throw, but he escaped it, and he kept it live for that team for a while. Unfortunately, his team didn't back him up. He does need to improve, but it was his first game as a starter, so I definitely would not blame him for that game. But
Ty Simpson looked like the best part of that team overall on Alabama. He really did. First of all, his grit was ridiculous. You can tell that he is such a competitor, and he did try to show poise. He put that entire team on his back. The problem is, I think he was trying to be Bryce Young and Jalen Milroe, and he's just not as big. He doesn't have the strength to be able to stand up and break out of some of those tackles and then be able to reset himself quite as fast. But if he can get a clean pocket, then I think that he can become the leader that they need him to. One might say normally that he has the heart of a lion, but Chase, I think there's another animal that you'd like me to describe in this one. Maybe a tiger?
I like your transition.
That's what we call a segue, everybody.
That is a great segue. Just one more thing I just want to point out. That is Alabama's first opening loss since 2001, and it was to UCLA. They have not lost an opening game since 2001, and a majority of that is because they usually play teams like Mercer. So, but just wanted to point that out.
Well,
Go
Just give
Noles.
him a break. They have a 17-year-old on their roster, right?
He's 18 now, but he did not
Oh
play
wait,
good.
he's 17.
He did not play good at
Forever
all.
in our hearts.
He got that concussion towards the end of the game, and that looked iffy. But he did not play good either. He dropped a couple, I think, too. So, but wonderful segue, Connor. I wish I was done with my thing so that I could have made it perfect, but I'll take the blame for that one. Tiger Bowl, everybody. How did that game feel for you guys? Because I almost died like 4 or 5 times, especially during one of the worst overturned calls I have ever seen in my life. And I watched ASU at Texas last season, so it was pretty bad. That way, I have never seen such a beautiful catch. And then they're reviewing it to see if it was a touchdown or out at the 1, and the guy goes, "No, it's not even a catch, guys. I know he took 2 steps and shifted his body as a football move, but the ball bounced out 20 yards outside, so it's incomplete." I don't know what those refs were on in that game, but I was texting the group chat going, if we lose because of that call, I'm going to lose my mind. I couldn't. Oh man, that one upset me so bad. But my team came through in an opening game for the first time since Joe Burrow was the starter, and it was beautiful.
1-0, baby.
1-0, baby. And there was a lot of preseason angst between these teams. So they during that game LSU came in wearing shirts that said 1-0. That did not go. That did not look very good to the media right before that game. But not only that, they were hyping up how Brian Kelly called them Death Valley Jr. over the offseason. And after that game, they are Death Valley Jr. because we just kicked their teeth in. I know it was a close game, and Clemson is a great team. I think they're going to be really good this season. I think they have a little bit of an easier schedule. Although with Florida State's resurgence and how good Miami looked, I think that they're going to have. I don't think do they play Miami? I don't know if they play Miami, but they
play South Carolina.
They do play South Carolina, so they do have some games that are iffy, but I think they are going to breeze through most of their games. Klubnik played all right. Definitely not good enough for a win or to be considered the Heisman favorite, but he did look okay. But I don't think I am biased, obviously, in my opinion here, but LSU dominated pretty much that entire game. There was times where Clemson was definitely getting more points than us, and they were leading for a good portion of that game. But we kept driving down the field like with ease, and then we get a holding call. Or the one play where our 6'7" receiver fumbled the ball right as his elbow was about to touch. Like, we just kept stuttering at these small moments. And I think if we cleaned that up, like, it would have been 45-0. Like, we were dominating. That is the best LSU defense I have seen in probably a decade. Like, it looked
that's what I wanted to say is I don't even think that Clemson's offense is bad. I think that LSU's defense stepped up so much more than people thought. Like, we knew that they were going to be better, frankly, because it was a pretty low bar from the last couple seasons. But my goodness, I don't think anybody expected that much of a leap in competency.
Oh my God, it was beautiful. It was so beautiful to see. I have not seen a defense from LSU like that in probably a decade. Yeah. I mean, even the Joe Burrow defensive year, like, their defense was good, but it wasn't top 10. That team looked easily top 10. Like, Weeks was running around the field like a maniac. Harold Perkins was getting to the quarterback. Like, the DBs that they picked up, the guy that was suspended from Houston, and the man, I'm forgetting his name, number 4. No, dude, he played so good. He had the interception in the game, but he also had so many plays where he just knocked the ball right out of the receiver's hands right as he was about to catch it. That dude played like a monster, and I loved this defense. That excited me more than the offense, honestly.
We're very happy for you, Chase, and your hot take is so very much alive of LSU in all 3 scenarios. That was huge.
Go Tigers!
Go Tigers, brother. Every top 15 matchup except for the number 1 versus number 3, really did live up to their hype. And Chance, why don't you take us through that beauty of a game between Miami and Notre Dame that ended up being, in my opinion, a lot better of a game on both sides than a lot of people thought.
Sure. Before that, just because I talk about this game, I think it's going to have relevance. Right now, TCU playing North Carolina. Score update: 41-7.
Dude, no
Woo!
way. Yes.
Man,
Yes, 2 wins.
Chapel Bill,
2
man.
wins.
Yeah, bad. We'll have to talk about that in a second.
Wow.
But we can talk about Miami Notre Dame. That game kind of surprised me in many different ways. One, I'm not ready to make my apology video yet for Carson Beck. There's a lot of season, but I might have to because he looked poised. He looked good. He did his job, and Miami won. And he is one of the big reasons. I will say the first half was better than the second half. He didn't do much in the second half, but the first half, he looked like a monster. He really did. The other thing I was shocked on, it seemed like Miami had control of the whole game pretty much the whole time. But when I looked at the yards, Notre Dame had more yards going into like the fourth quarter. And in the end, Notre Dame could have won that game. So it makes me wonder. Yeah, Notre Dame lost, but it could have been a Northern Illinois kind of thing where it's like, yeah, we lost their first game. We're going to go win all the rest of our games and end up in the national championship. So I don't know, breaking in a new QB and everything. I think they've got a lot of room for improvement. I think they showed that they did, but I think that they can achieve that. Miami, I mean, they look the part. I think they're frauds, and I don't know. They might be legit. None of us had them as playoff picks, but I mean, with Clemson losing and how they looked, I mean, kind of seems like they're going to be in the playoffs. And they've got some talent too. Those receivers are talented.
Yeah, no,
they looked a lot better than we all thought they did, and yeah, we all thought, we were very clear that game could have gone either way in our projection last week, and boy did it. Notre Dame seemed like they were stalling, but again, I think that we were all three kind of in agreement that Notre Dame had a lot more reloading to do, and I think that to your point, Chance, that it was a lot of breaking in the new talent, and that happened over the course of the game. I like their new quarterback. I'm totally spacing on his name right now. Yeah, it was Carr, right? Yeah. I like him. I think that he's going to turn into something really good. Very different play style from Riley Leonard last year, but he's a little bit smaller, but he's a competitor. He looks like he's going to be able to grow into something good. They seem pretty stacked. Notre Dame's running back is just as good as he left off. I think Jordan Love was his name, and their defense. I mean, Notre Dame's always got a good defense, and they came storm. And that game really did come down to who got the ball last, and it just happened to be Miami. And I do think that Miami was the better team on that day, but I do agree that Notre Dame can be an excellent team throughout the rest of the year. They do have a very hard schedule, though.
It comes off to like, was it Notre Dame and Miami where they threw the screen and it went off the guy's leg and ended up being a turnover? That was that game, right?
Yeah.
There was plays like that where it's like, if that didn't happen, would Notre Dame have won the game? I don't know.
That's what I was going to say.
You have to shout out. Go ahead.
That's what I was going to say. That the reason Notre Dame had better offensive output and still lost was because of turnovers. They turned the ball over, I think twice, because they had a fumble early on too. But if you got it, you got to.
And again, that's the lack of discipline that comes from lack of experience.
But their quarterback.
And so if they can tighten those things up,
their quarterback
screenplay was just crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was such a weird looking play. Their quarter.
It went off of like three people and then ended up in a defensive lineman's hands. I mean, that doesn't happen.
It's like a game of pinball just in the middle of the field. It was crazy.
It was wacky. It's like a cartoon play.
But Notre Dame's quarterback did look good. I thought he looked really gritty. He had a couple design run calls that his coach called for him, and he just ran right through them. And he made it look like they were going to come back, and they did. They got right in there. And like Connor said, Miami only won because they really had the last chance to score. Notre Dame did have like a minute left to score, but they just didn't have the gas left, unfortunately. But I think this quarterback can be something special for this team later on. He just needs to get some games under his belt and feel a little comfortable. Unfortunately, I doubt he was that comfortable in the Miami Heat. But that was a fun game to watch. I'm excited
Really
for both
fun
those
game.
teams later on in the season.
Yeah.
I think the MVP goes to the offensive line for Miami, though.
Oh,
They
yeah.
played so well. Oh my gosh, they looked really, really good. And again, if Carson Beck can just sit back there all day and make his reads like he did, Miami's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
They performed that well against an elite level pass rush of Notre Dame. Like,
Miami was manhandling them.
Yeah,
That line
they are
was-
Their line
big.
looked
They are
good.
physical. They are well trained. Like, they were solid.
Yeah.
Up front.
I'm excited to see what Beck does later on because he had some bomb throws, especially that catch by that wide receiver. That catch by that wide receiver, I forget his name, but that's probably going to be one of the best catches of the year. That was amazing.
I was so mad.
That was such a good catch.
Nobody. Jeez, you didn't even comment on it. That safety was so idiotic.
That safety.
Did you not see?
Here's why I didn't say anything, because I've seen it before, even at the pro level. So there was a game.
He sidestepped him. He was in position and he moved out of the way.
I know this is off topic, but there was a game in the NFL where the Cardinals were playing the Packers in the playoffs, and the Cardinals were winning. This was back when we had Carson Palmer, I believe, and Aaron Rodgers throws a Hail Mary at the end of the game, and our best cornerback, possibly our best quarterback of all time, Patrick Peterson, stood there like an idiot and just watched the ball. And then the receiver comes up and just takes it and scores a touchdown. And they go to overtime. And that was Patrick Peterson, one of the best cornerbacks in at least in Arizona history and definitely in LSU history. I don't know what it is with some DB.
Well, that's the arguably the most famous play of the last 20 years in Arizona State football was the Hail Mary against USC, and it was the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And there were two safeties. I mean, it happens. It's so easy as a safety in the end zone to like just get caught like, okay, here comes the ball, and then not thinking in a million years they're going to make it.
They want to be the guy that catches that ball.
Not an excuse, but it does happen.
But this play, like, he was in position and he moved out of position. It doesn't, like, he could have sat there and let the ball come to him and he might have picked it. He could have hit the guy and it would have been an incompletion. There's no way he was catching him if he hit the guy. But instead, he moves out of the way and tries to act like he's picking it off.
I hate when
the guy was trying to run. He didn't mean to be rude to him. He wasn't going to get in his way.
I hate when DBs.
Could you imagine if you were trying to go for a run and catch a ball and some guy just like stands in your way? That'd be so mean of him.
I hate when defensive players do that. Because actually, right before that game in the South Carolina game, to end that game, the South Carolina player picked the ball off and started running down the field like he was going to score. I was like, dude, you won. Just go down. What are you doing? Like, there's been games where people have run and then they fumble and the other team has a chance again. Like, go down. Stop trying to like stat pad and make yourself look good for the season. Like, go down. Yeah. This is a team sport. Play for your team a little bit. You got the pick.
Win the game. Yeah. Chance, while we get done with this review, why don't you give us our in memoriam to the Boise State Broncos, who used to be one of the most feared teams in college football. And now USF is just serving us all a piece of humble pie, all of us non-believers.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people are going to say this in retrospect. A lot of people said this before, and it came out to be true. Half of my pick with USF was I believed in them, but half of it was looking at that Boise State game, and I kind of knew Boise State just didn't have a big piece of the team, and it was actually Denny. And I just failed to believe that their QB was as good as everybody thought he was. The preseason Mountain West Player of the Year, right? He didn't look good, and nothing about Boise State looked good. It all looked bad, all of it. They have a lot of time to put it together, and I think they still can, but they look bad. And we all commented. We text back and forth, all of us. how bad Boise State looked, and I kind of said, and nobody commented on this, but yeah, USF looks pretty good, and I still think they look pretty good. It's not all Boise State being bad. The other team looked really, really good, in my opinion. Uh, Bryson Barnes, man, he looks like an elite talent to me, at least. I mean, tight end made QB that can just run over anybody. Did you guys see the touchdown where he ran in and he didn't need to truck the safety, but he just decided, yeah, I'm going to truck the safety going into the end zone.
Oh, he was playing with them.
He was
He
bigger
was
than everybody.
absolutely
Dude.
playing with Boise
He
State.
was bigger than
Yeah,
everybody.
that
It
game
looked
was so fun,
unfair.
by the way.
Yeah, it was
Jason?
ridiculous.
It looked unfair out there, dude. He was bullying DBs that were trying to tackle him. They
Yeah.
were bouncing off him like a pinball. Like it was pretty pathetic actually. Like for the defender. Like I felt bad watching it, and then I stopped watching it because I was very upset that Boise State disappointed me that bad. Like USF played amazing. They deserved the hype they got in the offseason. I'm very curious to see what they do this week and the week after, because the whole Chance's whole take had to do with the first 3 weeks, their gauntlet of games. And I'm not shocked that Boise State lost, but I am shocked that they lost in that manner. That was really sad. That, it's not over for them for the whole season. They got to basically win out and at least put up a fight against Notre Dame. But that game gave me no hope for that team. That looked just terrible. It looked like none of them played football the whole off season. It was bad.
Yeah. Good news is this week they have Eastern Washington, who lost last weekend. They're a pretty low tier, used to be mid tier, if not high tier, but now they're kind of back to the dregs of the FCS. They've got them at home. If there's a chance to come back and get your confidence back together and just take all of your anger out on a lesser team, then this is the week to do it. But oh man, if they don't blast them like 45-3, then this could be a very long year for the Broncos, and that would be unfortunate because they're a fun team to watch. They're a fun team, an easy team to root for, easy team to love, and they've done so much for so long. But oh man, that was nauseating. So that about does it for our recap. Unless you guys,
if I could just add a couple.
Hold on. We got to talk about TCU, North Carolina, just for a bit, because what does this leave North Carolina? This is
exactly where we thought they were.
Rebuilding.
Yeah, it's the first year with a brand new coach who hasn't taught or hasn't coached in college.
Even Nick Saban. Even Nick Saban, who's buddies with Bill Belichick, said, "I don't think it's going to work out this season, but he believes in him later. But he said it's not going to be that easy right away."
They got 70 transfers on their roster. I'm not saying the experiment has failed. I'm saying it's a single data point, and TCU was poised to make a big step this year. Their quarterback's an elite level veteran. They've got loaded talent on both sides of the ball. They came out and they had a really good first drive, but I think it was most of the TCU honestly expected them to run it more, and I think they were just set up defensively wrong on that first drive.
It's 41-7 right now. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's my point, right? It's one thing of rebuilding and being encouraged and everything, but name another P4 team that's been blown out by 41-7 this opening week.
I mean, none, but
close to it. There's one close to it.
Well, Syracuse got pretty well rolled.
They kept it close for a while.
They kept it close.
I mean, I guess they ran out of steam eventually.
Tennessee pulled away later in the game, but they were in the I think in the fourth quarter it was only like maybe a 10-point game for a while. So
okay, you mean got steamrolled start to finish?
Start to finish like this? I mean, UCLA is the only other one, and it wasn't as bad as this. This is bad.
It's not a good look, that's for sure, especially at home. Like
and they're at
looks
home.
good.
Yep.
So hopefully it's just the TCU is really good because
I would love to see TCU be good.
No, they definitely should be. They had a bit of hype in the offseason, like not as much as Texas Tech for buying all those players in the transfer portal, but TCU did have they've got some pieces there. So, and obviously they just showed that they can go on the road and absolutely dominate an ACC team with a coach that's won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach and 2 as an assistant coach. So that's That's impressive.
Well, our
As we're
weekly.
as we're speaking, by the way, UNC's probably going to score a touchdown. So
Ooh,
41-14.
Good for them.
There's hope.
There's hope.
Don't even call it a comeback. Yeah. No, I'm not surprised. I am more surprised that TCU is looking as good as they are, and I'm like in a good way. I'm glad that they were. There's a chance that they could have disappointed, and I'm glad that they're looking as good as they do. I'm not surprised at all that this year this first game and probably this whole first year that UNC is just not. They're just disorganized, which is fine. Like, I'm not going to put any expectations on them until next year. But yeah.
All right. If I could add just a couple quick points before we move on to the next segment. All right. I just want to point out that not that we had a ton of hype for this team in the offseason, but Tarleton State beating Army in double overtime. Tarleton State? Army? Come on. What are you doing? What was that?
Yeah.
How? I know your kicker missed like 2 kicks, and he's probably getting reamed for that, but wow. Tarleton State.
It shouldn't have been close enough to come down to 2 kicks anyway.
That is not a good look, Army. Come on. You can do better.
No, and I think this is not to get too into the NIL side of things, but I do think that the transfer portal and NIL are going to make sports for the service academies in football really hard. And again, because they can't do anything about it. Like, that's just not how they operate. They legally cannot do anything about it. So they're going to have some years.
I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people, they join the Army for financial reasons, right? If there's no financial reasons left, then
yeah.
There are some proud, great military people. Shout out to you and your service, but
it was still Tarleton State, so I don't expect them to go undefeated.
They should have just been better athletes. That's they should have won that game just by being better athletes, and they did not.
But yeah, that was disappointing to see. But good on Tarleton State. That's a good win for you guys.
Yeah, congratulations, little guys.
Another note, Baylor. Wow, I rode high on this team, and they really let me down. I'm really hoping that it's just that Auburn is a lot better than we gave them credit for, and that Hugh Freeze is fighting for that coaching position to keep it. So I hope it was that. Auburn looked good for the most part. Was it Jackson Arnold, transfer from Oklahoma? He looked good on his feet. I mean, he beat Alabama last year with his feet. I don't think he passed 100 passing yards last year in that game, but they dominated them, and Auburn did really good in that game. One good note:
Baylor didn't look bad.
No, Baylor didn't look bad, but they looked not ready for the moment. And this is if they can't compete with a middle of the pack SEC team right now. I definitely overhyped them a bit because I believe with their schedule that they were gonna be in contention for their Big 12 championship. So.
I think Auburn is good, but I think Baylor has a glaring weakness, really glaring weakness that Auburn exposed, and perhaps SMU will as well.
Yeah. The one good thing I can say is Michael Trigg, their wide receiver. He looked really good. I know he had a couple drop passes, including the one right at the end of the game that would have kept him in the game, but he looked really good. So that's the bright side. Their quarterback needs to do better though, because he was a Heisman hopeful to a degree. And he needs to do better.
Story Robertson?
Yeah.
He threw for over 400 yards.
Yeah,
because he threw it like 48 times.
Yeah,
I still think he looked okay. I mean, he made mistakes, but I think there's all hope's not lost.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, we're going to talk a little bit about what their future is when we get to our weekly pick'ems too, because we've got them on there again.
And then one more thing: Kansas State down to the wire with North Dakota.
Yeah, that was rough.
That one really hurt my thoughts on Kansas State. That North Dakota is definitely a good FCS team, but wow, Kansas.
No, they're a top 10 FCS team. They're an outstanding program. But come on, Kansas State, you were supposed to be in the top 4 in the Big 12. Like you're supposed to be competing for conference titles and playoff dark horse. That was unacceptable. And I'm saying that as Arizona State they look very inconsistent against their also high level FCS opponent, but ASU looked a million times better than Kansas State.
ASU didn't look like they were going to lose. They just didn't look like they were going to win enough.
ASU's problem this weekend was for the part of the game that we were able to watch due to streaming issues, but ASU's problem was honestly that I think that they hyped themselves up too much in that they got too amped. Like they were so ready to play that they were almost too ready. And they're like, if they get one single yard, then we will literally disembowel them. And it's like, okay, chill out. Like,
whoa,
just play the game, guys.
Whoa, chill.
No. Bring their dads out here. I want to kick them too. Like, chill, guys. Yeah. So when they were calm, when they were playing like they knew how to play and weren't playing like rabid dogs, then they looked unreal. The offense lived up to every bit of hype. Sam Levitt can sling a football, man. The wide receiver core looked outstanding. All three running backs, especially Raleek Brown, looked insane. Kyson Brown looked night and day different from what he did last year. And that defense, man, holy cow, especially up front, they're ridiculous. But they have got to settle down because those penalties, that game absolutely should have been 50-16 or whatever. And a couple of those points were scored later on that drove up NAU's score. But yeah, there were a couple of touchdowns. There were like 70-yard, I mean, explosive plays that got called back. That score should have been way higher. And Mississippi State, yes, is a very low tier SEC team, but they will be just fine if they can clean up those penalties. But they got to do that. They got to get that discipline under control. And I'm glad that I'm just chalking it up for now as they just had some wiggles to shake out,
Yeah, that last touchdown by NAU also pushed them over the under, so and really screwed up.
Yeah, for the first time.
Oof.
Yeah,
but all right. With my last real quick note, just want to say the South Carolina Virginia Tech game was a real slow burn at the beginning. It was a very low scoring game at the beginning, but it became a lot more interesting towards the end. Lenore Sellers, he was a little bit slow at the beginning, like I said, but he turned it on and he looked good. So I'm excited for the South Carolina team. Virginia Tech looked pretty decent too. So just because they lost that game doesn't mean that they're irrelevant in their conference. I think they could play upset to a couple teams and get into a decent bowl. Honestly, they look decent. The only thing I will say is,
VT's always talented. It's just they were a great test for South Carolina.
Yep.
South Carolina very easily could have gotten flustered and fallen off, and I think they showed a lot of grit, a lot of discipline, and not just to win the game, but they ended up winning the game because they got way better as the game went on, and I think that was really what they needed to get themselves prepped for that SEC slate that they have.
Yeah. The only thing I will say is that was a catch, and those refs screwed them too. Like the only play that was worse than that overturn was the LSU one, but that catch was an amazing catch, and I cannot believe they called it incomplete. It was. I don't
talk about the Nick Harbor one.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
What are you looking at? Are you looking at the same ball? Like it's a catch. Yeah. It's like these refs don't know what a catch is anymore. It's like, oh no, the ball moved slightly. It's like, yeah, he moved because he moved his hand like this. It didn't bounce out of his hand. That was a catch. That was ridiculous, South Carolina fans, and you should be pissed, even though you won.
Yeah. Shout out to Nick Harbor.
Should have been a catch.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's last week. We got a whole new week ahead of us, though. Week 2 is going to slow down the pace a little bit. That was a wild rocking and rolling week 1. We were blessed with it. We got a lot of teams with some wounds to lick, and there's probably going to be a lot of offense happening in the top 25. I mean, we got Texas taking on San Jose. We got Penn State at FIU. We got Indiana at Kennesaw State, Texas Tech, Kent State. We got a lot of slaughters that are coming our way. Not as many big name matchups, but why don't we go ahead and get to our weekly pick'ems, because we talk about pretty much all the big matchups in our weekly pick'ems here. Chase, why don't you roll us through this one?
All right. The first one, this was one that we weren't sure we were going to do this week, but after last week and Chance's hot take, USF looks good, and they go on the road to play Florida in the swamp. And this is a game that I definitely wouldn't have given them a chance to win at all. before this last game that they played against Boise State. But I don't know. They played Boise State and they smothered them. So what do you guys think? What are USF's chances of winning in the swamp?
So,
Chance, go ahead.
you want to go double or nothing?
You got the shirt. You wanna do another hot?
You want to go double or nothing?
Double hot take?
Oh, I
We're
don't.
about to spin the wheel. You want to go double or nothing?
Sorry, guys. I was just joking. I got Florida.
Oh,
How
man.
dare you?
You
That was
said
going to be
some
the
things on
quickest
this
take
show,
I
but
would have
that was
taken.
crazy.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I know. I got your hopes up. I want to see that wheel
Oh,
spin.
yes, I'll take that.
too late. Do the vote, Connor. Oh, man. All right. Well,
Just to
actually,
be clear, you're not willing to die on
Yeah.
that hill.
No, I've got Florida this week.
okay, he's got
All
Florida.
right.
Connor.
Yeah. Florida for sure. I would definitely Florida beating the spread. I don't remember what the spread is on this one, but I think that Florida, they're going to take it. And they're going to take it big.
Yeah, Florida is a team that I don't like Florida historically. I don't hate them like I hate Alabama, but Florida's a team that ruffles my feathers at least. Like I'm not a fan of that team, but I am excited for a lot of their games this season. They have probably the roughest schedule in the league. Them and LSU both have like 7 preseason ranked teams on their schedule. It's crazy. But they have so many games coming up that I'm super excited for, and I'm picking Florida.
17.5 point spread, by the way, Connor.
Yeah, they'll take it.
All right, we got that one out of the way. Number 2, a team that disappointed me last week. Now back-to-back highlighted games for Baylor against, this time, SMU. Connor, you're first this time.
I gotta go SMU just because now obviously SMU is not an SEC opponent and they fell pretty well short last year in the playoff, and a lot of people after watching their game thought that at least one or two other teams should have been in or could have been in over them. I don't know what to make of Baylor right now. I just don't. If having to pick, I'm going SMU. I would love Baylor to win, and I think they have the pieces. But if they show the same kind of wishy-washiness, I think that SMU will be able to jump all over it and capitalize just like Auburn was. If they put it together, yeah, I'll eat my words, and I hope that they do for the health of the Big 12. But you want me to pick it as things stand after what we saw on Saturday? Yeah. Or what I think they played on, was that Friday that they played? Either way, this weekend, yeah, SMU.
You still believe in them, Chase?
Baylor. Why'd you put me in this position?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I had Baylor really high on my charts. I really did. Yeah. And I really, really wanted to be that Auburn just overperformed and is better than we thought they were going to be, because
I had them on my playoff chart.
Yeah, I had them not in the playoffs, but just out because of a committee not liking the Big 12 kind of thing.
Yeah,
I had them having a great season. They can still very much have a great season, but not as great as I was hoping for them. SMU. You know what? Fuck
That's
it.
the thing. We don't know a lot about SMU either.
Baylor Bears, baby. Bouncing back this week. They're not letting me down twice.
Bounce back, Baylor Bears.
Bounce back, Baylor Bears. Say that 4 times fast. I wasn't going to pick that, but you know what? I'm switching.
I'm being recorded. I don't want to make a fool of myself. I already do that enough.
All right. Well,
that's gutsy. You know what, Chase? There is a lot I like about Baylor still. I have hope for the team. I think they can do a lot of great things. Last year, they came out of the gate stumbling, and they picked it up and found the pieces. And this year, they're going to come out of the gate stumbling and hopefully pick up the pieces later, because they have one glaring weakness, and it's Jackson Arnold. He didn't throw the ball that well. 108 yards. That's it. But you know what he did do? He ran the ball and ran and ran and ran all over them. And
Is
you know who SMU has?
um,
Kevin Jennings. And you know what he can do?
geez.
Run the
Run and
ball
run and run.
all over them. I just can't trust Baylor after that one.
Prove them wrong, Baylor. Do it for me
I hope so.
specifically.
I hope I'm wrong on that pick.
Fight for Chase, the LSU and ASU fan.
Make
Please.
shirts for it this week. I want to see that whole crowd. Well, sorry, they'll be at SMU. I want to see the watch party wearing those shirts. All right. Game 3 of the week for this. Iowa versus Iowa State.
The Cyhawk Bowl.
Last year? You guys remember that game last year?
Nope.
I actually don't. I mean, Iowa State won it, didn't they? Because they started off super hot.
I find it really
Iowa
hard
State.
to remember Iowa's games in particular.
Yeah.
That's true.
I usually
Fair.
just remember them as 6-point games or 10-point games.
Iowa outclassed Iowa State the whole game. They were up, they were going to win, and Iowa State somehow at the very end broke their hearts and won, just by the skin of their teeth. But I think Iowa State is a much better team now. They've improved a lot. Iowa's not as good defensively. They've grown offensively, but they're not as good defensively. Give me Iowa State.
I'm in agreement.
Same.
I'm picking Iowa State. Yeah, as I just showed, I do not have a lot of hope for Iowa each year. Their defense is usually great, and their offense is something that I would rather sleep through. So I'm picking Iowa State. I think Iowa State looked good.
This will be a good test for Iowa State.
Oh, definitely.
If Iowa State's offense has looked phenomenal through the 2 games. Now, the Ireland game, it wasn't great because of the weather, but we had a lot of questions on whether was it just the weather, and they were still able to be pretty productive. And then they did exactly what they were supposed to, just miles ahead of a good SE or FCS team in South Dakota. They appeared to be firing on all cylinders. They did 100% what they were supposed to, exceeded expectations on offense. So now this Iowa's kind of like the Colossus of college football, where like, yeah, if you can beat Iowa, you're strong. But if you lose to Iowa, you're weak. So this will be a good benchmark for them. Yeah. So yeah, are we all 3 taking ISU then?
You know, this is why I'm glad I switched to Baylor, because I can't be agreeing with you guys every time. That's crazy. So this one, this one should be a fun one, and this one really should be fun for Connor, because it is.
Let's go.
His Big 12 runner-up, Kansas against Missouri on the road.
Missouri looked better than I thought they would last week, but it was against Central Missouri. So again, pretty low bar, especially if you claim to be an SEC team. I still like the way that Kansas is playing. I liked the way that they played even better this week than they did last week. Obviously, it was against vastly inferior competition, but just like Iowa State, they did exactly what they were supposed to. There were no flaws in what they did. They're coming off of 2. They were 2-0 before most of the country even played one game, I think is what Chance was talking about in off camera. And yeah, now again, this will be a huge game for them, but I mean, it's in Missouri, but man, I'm liking what I'm seeing from them so far. And Missouri hasn't been tested yet and could be thrown for a loop with this one. I got Kansas.
You know what the spread is, Connor, Mr. Vegas?
Isn't it like 1.5 or something? Aren't they predicting to be a really close game? No?
6.5.
6.5? Well, there was another game that I was looking at earlier that was supposed to be a 1-point game or something like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't that
6.5 for who?
For Missouri. Doesn't that feel disrespectful?
A little bit. Like, I get it. It's a road game for Kansas at an SEC team, but Missouri is so reloading this year. They lost their own. They were very underwhelming last year when it came down to it in crunch time, and they lost pretty much every really good player on their team.
Yeah,
Kansas only looks like they've gotten better.
I thought Missouri was a bit overrated last year. They had Luther Burden, who was fantastic, great player. But outside of him, I thought they had a weaker roster and they had a weaker schedule, and because of SEC hype, they ended up how they did. That being said, I think the stat goes from back to 2010 or something. They've had more 10-win seasons than like Florida and Auburn and all these huge schools. Missouri somehow has had better seasons overall than those guys. So it's hard to doubt and pick against Missouri just because they'll always surprise you. They'll always beat you when you don't think they will. Give me Kansas.
Saw that coming. On the other hand, I'm going to go with what all that stuff that Chance just said, except I'm picking Missouri. So I think Kansas is a team that has high highs and low lows. So I don't think.
So last year.
Yep, I don't think
it's a dangerous pick. I just haven't seen. I haven't seen them show weakness yet, and so I can't in good faith.
Very early and against against
Jaden Daniels looks
low hanging fruit.
Different to me this year, and that's why
he's healthy.
Kansas. He looks like he is in control. That he's not going to let it slip away. That he's not going to let the nonsense happen. That's the reason why I believe in him.
Yeah, no, I totally could see them winning this game, but I don't like agreeing with you guys, so I picked Missouri.
I think the next one's more interesting. I think the next one we're going to be more divided on.
Let's go. The big game of the week, really, because it is a downer week compared to last week. The big game of the week, Michigan at Oklahoma.
I think both of these teams are overrated.
You felt that way in the preseason poll. You were
No, the preseason. So before the preseason poll came out, and when we did little previews, I specifically called out Oklahoma and Michigan and said, "Hey, these guys are going to be better than you think," because the bar for me was thinking they were 6-6 last year. They can be 8-4, 9-3. They can play and beat some of these big guys, but they're not the big guys. And I don't know why they're ranked the way that they are. It's ridiculous. It's because
You're not that guy,
Alabama.
pal.
Well, guess what? Florida State did too. So are they going to be ranked the number 1 this week?
They should be.
They beat Alabama. Oh. They should be number 1. Name one other team that beat Alabama this last week, Chance. I'll wait.
All right. That's fair. That's fair, I guess. That being said, I trust one team more than the other, and it's because they have a proven quarterback. Oklahoma.
John Mateer, huh?
I wouldn't call John Mateer proven. He was the only good thing on a terrible Washington State team last year, but I do see what you probably are saying, which is that he's the only one who has shown good things consistently throughout an entire college football season at the Power 4 level. I'm also going Oklahoma, but I think it's going to be a really close game. And I think that Oklahoma wins because of home field advantage, and I think it's going to be very close.
Are you guys going to stop holding each other's hands this whole time? You guys have not
deviated one. Me. I'm picking it.
You guys
let me go first next. Oh my gosh.
I have changed. I've only changed one of my picks, to be honest. But I changed one of my picks because you guys are making us all look bad, okay?
Wow, we're making us look like we all know what we're talking about?
We'll see. We'll see.
You're the guy who changes.
The first week did not know that.
Changes the bubble on his test because he wrote the answer C too many times. You're like, well, one of these has to be wrong because it's not going to be C 4 times in a row.
We didn't pick only one correct win last week.
We struggled. All of us struggled. I'm sorry. You picked 2. Congratulations.
I'm 3-3.
Oh, okay. And you also said Bama has a top 10 defense. Anyways.
Hey, you're spinning the wheel.
Yeah, you'll be following me pretty soon, buddy. Duke is gonna give you another one. I promise you that.
Did you see stats? Caleb Mensah? Almost 400 yards.
Yeah, against Elon. They struggled against Elon for 3 quarters.
They slow down the hype train.
3 quarters, they were up by like 3 at halftime.
Oh, so same with ASU.
Yeah.
What? ASU was up 14 at the. Oh no, they were up like 16 at the half or something like that.
Why is ASU?
ASU had a commanding lead at the. They had a solid lead at the half, and then they only extended it, and then they made a couple mistakes. Get out of here.
You know what?
And also,
That's a big
Elon
game.
is
Are we picking that game? Yeah, we are. All right. Wait, let's talk about
Let's-
that later.
Anyway, I pick Oklahoma
tell
as
us
well.
your pick, Chase, and let's move on.
I pick
before we
Oklahoma
have
as
to-
well, since we're all holding hands. All right.
All right, sweet. We're all in this together.
Second to last highlighted pick, Illinois at Duke. Chance, you're starting.
No, I'm not going first. Connor's going first.
This is
Illinois, because Duke's not legit.
okay. I agree. Illinois.
And honestly, Illinois looked a lot better than I thought they would.
I agree.
Yes,
Fighting
inferior, yes,
Illini.
not amazing
Let's go.
competition. But yeah, I was not riding super high on Illinois. Illinois might actually have reloaded. I didn't think they were going to do it, and we'll see.
Connor, they didn't reload. They lost 2 starters. That's it on both sides of the ball.
They had a ton of Okay, we've been over this in the Big Ten preview. They were not supposed to be as good this season.
22 of their 24 players. No, wait. It was 20 of their 22 players in the bowl game returned this season. How is that reloading?
They were the two of the most productive. Anyways,
They returned more players, more starting.
And so you're still going to pick Duke? So you're still going to pick Duke?
No, I'm picking Illinois.
Wow. Wow.
Guys, I had Illinois in my semifinals, in my playoffs.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Duke was your first hot take, wasn't it?
You think?
Yeah,
Sorry,
but I have Illinois. I had Illinois in my semifinals.
Episode 2 of the whole
here's
show.
the thing.
I like both teams.
Here's the thing, though.
I can't like both teams.
Here's the
Only
thing,
one
though.
team can
You
win.
had Duke as the runner-up in the ACC championship, and
Do
after
you remember my reason why?
and after because they had a weaker schedule. Now Miami and Florida State look good. You think Clemson, Miami, and Florida State are all gonna miss? All 2 of those teams are gonna miss the ACC championship, and that Duke's gonna get in.
Still feeling good.
Still feeling good, man. Denial looks good on you, Chance. I'll give you that. Anyway,
Hey, I'm
Illinois.
spinning the wheel.
Illinois. I pick Illinois too. If we're gonna keep holding hands, I swear.
Hey, I picked last that time.
You guys literally have not picked a different pick yet, and we're doing 7 this
He's
week.
following me. I gave him one.
We're
chance.
doing 7 this week. I'm starting this one. UCLA at UNLV. And if I'm giving faith to Baylor, I'm giving faith to UCLA. Nico, don't let me down again. You better beat a Mountain West UNLV team. I don't care that you're on the road. Beat them. They're not that good. Beat them.
All right, Connor.
I hate this game.
That's why we picked it.
Jeez. I hate not only that one of these teams has to win a game. I hate that you're making me pick. You're making me cheer for one of these 2 teams. That oh man.
You put up no fight to pick this game, by the way. For all the viewers, he's a liar.
Oh. This is just a pillow fight, this game. Does UCLA have more talent? Probably. Duh.
All right, for the rest of the season, we're having to pick UCLA picks every time. UCLA.
I'm going UNLV though, just because
Wow.
I feel like I have to. UCLA looked just pitiful against Utah, and Utah looked really good. Don't get me wrong. Utah looked a lot better than I was giving them credit for. But my goodness, you let them come into your house on the first game of the season with your magic quarterback that you paid all this money for, and now he's able to hang out with his mommy on the weekend. So you'd think that his love tank would be full, and he performs that poorly. Yeah, maybe even UNLV can handle them.
Yeah.
I'm going UNLV.
Okay, so would you say it's just because one team just has a way better coach?
Honestly, yeah, I will say Dan Mullen is a better coach than whoever's coaching UCLA.
Whoever is coaching.
He's not putting out a good product.
So you're saying you love Dan Mullen? Okay, that's good. We don't need to use anything. Go on,
Yeah,
Chance.
that's what I'm saying.
Go on, Chance.
All right. Well, I've got to hold hands with somebody here.
Well, you've held hands with Connor the entire time.
Connor the entire episode.
You have
6
6 of 6 right now. So
Yep. I am not following you on that one, Connor. Look, we talked about this. Nico, when it comes to big teams, he sucks. Statistically, he has never done well. But against crappy teams, he is superhero. Give me Nico. Give me UCLA.
All right, there we go. Finally, a diversion for you two. God, man, I thought you guys were just gonna like spend the whole day together at this point. Like, damn.
Chance has very soft hands. They feel nice. They make me feel complete.
Oh my god. Go to the next segment before I throw up.
All right. While we're on our picks, Vegas picks of the week. I'm going to keep these coming out on I'm just going to be posting them to our stories. I wasn't as good about it, admittedly, and I do apologize. I only talked about the Thursday picks, and I was a little late with getting my other picks out. So I promise on our story on Instagram, TikTok, we will be posting the Vegas picks for this week. But my initial picks, Saturday's games, I've got 3 coming at you, and I mostly apologize because my picks did very well this weekend overall. Thursdays did not do great because Boise State just laid an egg. But I was 3 for 3 on a plus 298 parlay on Sunday. And this week, my initial picks are Illinois winning, not the spread, just money line over Duke. Liberty also money line over Jacksonville State. And then UConn beating the spread against Syracuse. I think UConn is a team that is sneakier than people think. They looked really good last week. They've got a whole new coaching staff. They went from bottom 10 to a rebuild, and they're on trajectory to kind of be in the regular conversation again in football, where they haven't been in close to 20 years. But this is not the last 10, 15 years worth of the bottom 10 UConn. So I think they're going to stick with Syracuse pretty well, if not actually take the whole thing. So
you think they're going to win?
Illinois money line, Liberty money line, spread, UConn.
You think UConn?
That's a plus 369 parlay. So $10 pays $37 on that. Do whatever other math you want. I'll come out with some more as we continue.
You think that UConn is going to beat Syracuse, Connor?
No, beat the spread.
You said at the end of that, you said beat.
I said if not. That's what the spread is.
Mm-hmm.
That they have potential to either win the game.
Is that a hill you're willing to die on, Connor?
That UConn will beat the spread?
That UConn will beat Syracuse?
No. I'm saying I think they have saying as a betting man, they're going to beat the spread. Now, would I be surprised? No, I give them a 60% chance.
That's more than you gave UTSA, Connor.
No, that is about the same as I gave.
You said 20% for UTSA, so I don't want to hear it.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I actually did. Yeah. No, I think the UConn will play Syracuse a lot closer. UTSA did okay. I'm proud of them.
They kept it close for a while. I thought you might have been.
If they didn't allow that first that opening punt return was that was kind of a took the wind out of their sails, but they showed a really potent offense. That offense is exactly as advertised. They put up a solid effort the entire game against a solid SEC opponent, an upper level SEC opponent. They did really, really well. Yes, I lost the hot take. Yes, I was baited into it, and I will take my spin. But I am proud of my Roadrunners.
They did good. I kept checking back. Obviously, I was watching the LSU game during that, but I kept checking in, and I was like, they're keeping it close. Good for them.
They were
on the road.
Couldn't do it on defense. Their defense was not ready for that level of offense. They were just getting bodied. They were just pushing them around. The guys were just bigger, faster on Texas A&M's offense. But man, that offense for UTSA, I really could see them running the table in their conference.
Road running the table.
Connor, that is big of you to stand behind them even when they cost you a spin. Because you know what, Duke, if you don't make the ACC championship game, you're dead to me. You're dead. Never again. Alabama, you're already dead to me.
Didn't you literally name your kid after someone who beat Duke in basketball?
Yeah, I hate Duke basketball.
Yeah.
You hate Duke
This is
basketball,
not a Duke
and then
fan.
you put your
He
faith
is
in Duke
riding that
football?
so high.
That's crazy.
That's how much I believe in this pick.
Oh, man.
All right, man. We'll see you after this weekend. Let's go ahead and let's do our top 10 list of the week, and then let's hit this spin of the wheel, 2 spins of the wheel, and call it a day.
Real quick, I just want to hear how confident you are in this ASU team going into Mississippi State this week.
If they can keep their penalties conservative, I think that they've gotten well over 80% chance. I might give them a 90% chance to win. This team looks fantastic if they can stop being penalized so much.
Yeah, getting a lot of penalties against NAU at home is definitely a concern. So can they keep those down in an SEC game on the road? So they beat Mississippi State last year.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can do it again, because Mississippi State is a bottom tier SEC team, and they have been.
Yeah, they're like they wouldn't be much better in any other conference, to be honest, and that's just historically as well. And that's why like I'm not if they fall apart, I'm like, man, that's gonna be a long season. But I think that every bit of that talent is there, and that's why I'm kind of right now with one data point, I'm chalking it up to being super hyped up on their own energy, off of their own readiness to play, and almost being like too ready to play. And that's what caused the penalties and some other silly things that happened. They get that out of their system. Then when this team settled down, as I said in the beginning, they'll be just fine going into conference play. But we'll see.
We better not hear any cowbell that entire game, ASU. Roast on no cowbell. Keep that crowd quiet. The 5 people that show up better be quiet. Go Devils.
my wife's grandfather he's a bulldog. He graduated from Mississippi State, and so I'm gonna be sitting there on Saturday night with next to it.
You're gonna try to be quiet during a football game, Connor?
No, I will be standing while he is giving me crap the entire time, because he believes in the Bulldogs more than almost anybody, and I'm like, why, man? But he's gonna put it on his 100-inch TV, and so I'm gonna go over there.
Oh, sick! That'll be cool.
And watch it with him.
I hope he has a cowbell. That'd be sick.
No, he does not have a cowbell.
Prove it.
Anyways, let's go. Chase, take it away, man. We're like 9 episodes in, and I haven't mixed your guys' names up once yet.
Until now. You ruined that
Chase,
place, Connor. I think
bring
we
it
should have
in.
to spin the wheel for that, actually. Chance, you in agreement?
Every time.
What were you saying, Connor?
It's your turn. It's your top 10 list.
Okay.
Chase's weekly top 10.
Gotcha. Our top 10 list of the week is top 10 games that you specifically are the most excited for this season. I will start out, since it's my subject again. All right. Now, disclaimer. I started this list going through the entire schedule, the entire FBS schedule of the entire season. And I had like 32 games written down that I was excited for. Like, really excited for. Not like, oh, that'll be cool. Like, really excited for. So, we have some honorable mentions. I'll go through them pretty quick. My 5th honorable mention, because why not, is Tennessee at Alabama in Week 8. You know, I think Rocky Top is gonna come to beat them boys. I think they're gonna come to play. They looked good against Syracuse, and I'm excited for that game. You know, let's see if Bama bounces back in the next couple weeks, but that'll be an interesting one. Honorable mention 4, Texas at Oklahoma, Red River rivalry. With how bad we saw Texas struggling in Week 1, this could be a lot closer of a game than we think. So, Week 7, excited for that one. Although last year, boring game because Oklahoma got demolished. But I think this year will be different, even if it ends the same. Honorable mention 3, ASU at Iowa State in Week 10, a rematch of the Big 12 championship, and it is at Iowa State. Hopefully, ASU has quite a few wins under their belt at that point and makes that a blowout just like last season. But not because of Scadaboo, but because Levitt is that guy. Honorable mention 2, Alabama at Auburn, the Iron Bowl. You know, I just look forward to that game because that game is always it's always somehow a coin flip. Even in the ones where Bama's supposed to just demolish them, it'll go down to the wire. Week 14 for that. Honorable mention 1, LSU at Ole Miss, Week 5. That's a good game every year. You know, the last 2 years have been down to the wire. Last year was overtime. The year before that was a Jaden Daniels sling show with Jackson Dart. Super fun game to watch. Super excited for that one. All right. Number 10, the beginning of the actual list. Texas at Georgia in Week 12. Texas obviously struggled here in this first game, and Georgia looks good. They didn't play a great team, obviously, and so it's hard to say for sure, but Georgia looks good, and Texas looks like they're struggling a bit, and Georgia has lived in their head all season. So I'm looking forward to that game. Number 9, Clemson at South Carolina. Rivalry week, Week 14. That seems like it's going to be a fun game. Lenora Sellers versus Kate Klubnik, and both those defenses look good. Number 8, Florida State at Clemson on Week 11. This game did not start out looking good this season, but after what they did to Bama, that game looks exciting. I cannot wait for that game. Number 7, Alabama at Georgia, Week 5. Bama has had Georgia's number for a long time, but Bama is slipping, and if they can't get it together, being on the road at Georgia is going to be interesting. Can't wait for that one. Number 6, Miami at Florida State. Both teams that really looked good in their opener games and beat teams that they weren't supposed to. Really excited for that game. Number 5, Florida State at Florida. If you're catching on to a trend, these Florida teams have a lot of good games coming this season, so I'm interested in them. Number 4. Did I say number 4?
I can't remember.
I don't know. I lost count, to be honest.
Number 5 was Florida State at Florida. Number 4 is Florida at Miami, Week 4. That's coming up. Florida looks good. Miami looks good. I cannot wait for that. And Carson Beck doesn't like Florida anyway because he played at Georgia. So be an interesting one. Number 3, the one that I might be the most worried for, thanks to chance and how that game went this week. ASU at Utah in Week 7. Man, I slept on Utah, and if they continue to prove me wrong, I'm going to be very sad. I really hope that ASU's offense can fight through Utah's defense in this game, but I think this will be an interesting game. One of my freshman year at ASU, one of the first the only football game that I got kicked out of was ASU at Utah, where we beat them by a field goal at the last second. It was a great game. They do have a lot of great games in this rivalry, and I can't wait to see it again. Number 2. Didn't I talk about how I was not fond of Florida historically? Well, I'm looking forward to Week 3 for Florida at LSU. Can't wait to see LSU destroy them. No, it'll be revenge for last season. I hope we demolish them. But Florida is a good team, so you never know. And to no one's surprise, my number 1 game of the year that I'm looking forward to is LSU at Alabama in Week 11. I look forward to this game every year, even though historically it makes me sad. But I love watching the Tigers play this team, and when they look good, I am looking forward to it. Even if I get a little anxious, I would love to see them go into Tuscaloosa and kick that Tide ass. That is my list.
Awesome.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Just an update for everybody. Game over. 48-14.
Not a good look, Belichick.
And TCU ended the game on like the 15-yard line. They could have scored again, but they ran out the clock.
How nice of them to keep it below 50 out of respect. That's like purely out of respect for Belichick.
You want to go next, Connor, or you want me to go?
Sure. Yeah. All right. I did not number mine by the week, but obviously these only happen once. So also mine are mostly just going in order. The later we go in the list, the later in the season they are. So, and I'm basing it again a lot off of week 1 projections. There's also a couple that I'm basing it off of how I'm hoping that these teams do. I'm hoping that it'll be interesting. It'll be more telling sometimes later in the season. So, anyways, Clemson versus Georgia Tech is coming up here pretty soon. I am hyped for that one. I loved what we saw out of Georgia Tech. Colorado is a tough place to start the season. That elevation is wild, and there was a lot of hype surrounding both of these teams on whether or not they were going to finally be able to do it, either of them. And Georgia Tech showed a lot of grit, and I think that they were overall the more talented team. I love watching Haynes King play some football. That dude is a stud. He is an animal, and he is tough, and their offense is built hardcore. And I hope that this game is as exciting as it seems like it's going to be. I hope that by the next couple of weeks, Clemson's going to find their rhythm on offense. Now that they're not facing the top tier level LSU defenses. And then I hope that Georgia Tech is able to settle in and finally be like, yeah, we belong here, start playing with a little bit more confidence and put it together. And that game could really set up the fate of the whole ACC, and it's pretty early on. LSU versus Florida. I'm looking forward more to this than I am the LSU Alabama game, but I see why, Chase, you are more excited about that one. But I think that these two teams are really the ones that are in the driver's seat of the SEC right now, and having that game, yeah, LSU and Florida. Yes, there's South Carolina. Yes, there's even Vanderbilt had a really good first outing. What's that?
Georgia.
Yeah, whatever.
So, Texas is still there, man. But go on.
I know. Yeah, Georgia's always there. They are always present. And outside of 2021 and 2022, that's about it. That's about all they are is present. Anyways, so yeah, the LSU versus Florida, I think that's going to be another one that's like really early on going to set the tone for the rest of the SEC. Both of those teams looked great coming out the gate. I'm excited for that one. Illinois versus Indiana. That matchup could be flying under the radar and could not be quite as important later on once we get to the midpoint of the season. But Indiana really struggled in their opener against a pretty rough G5 team, but they could step it up, and they got the win ultimately. And Illinois is going to face a test this weekend, and I if both of these teams continue on their trajectory, I love this battle of the kind of the new blood, the new up and comers, fighting for that top spot, fighting for that staying relevant between these two teams. And I hope that this is an awesome game as well. Tulane versus Ole Miss. It was not a perfect showing on offense from Tulane, but they were going against a Power 5 team, even though it was Northwestern, and they were way better on defense than I thought they were going to be. If they can settle in and get some more offense going, then I'm really hoping that this game lives up to the hype. Now that Boise State, I'm not excited about their matchup against Notre Dame. This is possibly the biggest G5 versus P5 matchup that we're going to see. I'm not totally off of Boise State, and I do have them actually my next pick, but I'm pretty excited about what this game could represent if Tulane continues on their trajectory. Then Boise State versus App State. This was another one that's kind of flying under the radar, and especially now that Boise State has this big pitiful loss on their schedule. App State is one that can play Kingslayer to just about anybody, and Boise State is looking vulnerable. But in App State, they had a solid win the other day, and I think that this will be the point in the season where if Boise State is going to have recovered, then they will need to have shown it in this game. App State can beat anyone on any given day. It's just something in the water up there, and I'm hoping that the Broncos can bounce back and show some dominance after that terrible opener. Miami versus Florida State. This one is not one that I had circled at the beginning of the year, but man, am I pumped for it now. Both of these offenses looked like they were rocking. Both of the defenses looked way better than we thought they'd be. Two teams that performed just about equally well against various levels of competition. Man, if those two teams go into it undefeated, that could absolutely be a top 5 matchup potential, or at least a top 10 matchup, potentially top 5. That's going to be a killer if they both continue to be as good as they looked. ASU versus Utah, Chase, I'm right there with you. That's been a lot of back and forth between these two teams. ASU's signature win that kind of started them on their trajectory towards excellence was when they beat Utah last year, and that was not a game that they were favored in, and it was kind of also a little bit exposing the Utah may not have been as good, but it really built that confidence. It's in Salt Lake this time. Utah looked way better against UCLA than I was predicting them to be. Hopefully this is a clash of powerhouse Big 12 teams, and it's hopefully it's a very significant game for the conference by the time we get to that kind of halfway point. LSU versus Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt had a really good showing. They got one more year with Diego Pavia, who might be the single most confident player in all of college football. Not saying he's the single best player, but few people swagger around like Diego Pavia does. And they beat Bama last year when Bama was number 1 top dog. And there's a good chance that LSU is going to be in a similar position, at least ranking wise, going into this game. And we'll see if Vandy continues to be on their hype train. But at the very least, I'm just hoping that Vandy continues to make interesting games out of this. And if so, people could really be sleeping on this one as potentially one of the quietly most exciting games of the SEC conference slate.
Rage bait.
And what's that?
Rage bait.
You think I'm rage baiting you with that one? Yeah. I'm not saying I think Vandy's going to win. I'm just saying they threw the whole world for a loop last year, and I hope
games. LSU at Vandy because you think they'll be in a similar position as Bama last season. How am I supposed to take that? How am I supposed to take that, Connor?
You said top 10 games that you are looking forward to.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this is a good game is what I'm saying. I also had LSU Florida, which is already a top 15 matchup. Probably also going to be a top 10 matchup by the time we get to it. I got 2 LSU games on here just for you.
Oh, how sweet. But
South Carolina versus Alabama. I don't think that Alabama is going to finish this season strong after the showing that they had against Florida State. Maybe they will, but I have this one circled because I'm hoping that South Carolina is in late season form at the end of this, and if Alabama continues to fall apart, I don't even care if Alabama falls out of the rank. What happened?
To be fair, is he talking right now?
Can you hear me?
There you are.
Yeah.
Baiting.
Finish this one up. We'll sort out the technical difficulties later. Hopefully that's all right. Anyways, I'm hoping that Alabama has completely collapsed by the end of this like a dying star, and I want South Carolina to be the ones to put the nail in the coffin, and I hope that they do in that one. That's the only reason I'm excited, is to hopefully it's a bloodbath, and I'm here for it.
South Carolina.
Kansas versus Kansas State in week 9. Rivalry game a little bit before rivalry week. I would love to see the Jayhawks make a statement. I am not liking what I'm seeing over K-State, but if they can win their rivalry game, which is a coin flip on any day for any rivalry game, I think that my take on Kansas is going to be pretty safe if they're able to make it that deep into the season and win their rivalry game. Excited about that one.
We're only in week 9
for Kansas State. That's my 10th pick, but I'm just saying in week 9 to give context. I didn't give context for the timeline, but that's the latest pick in the season that I have, because after that,
I'm surprised you don't have a week 14 pick with all those rivalry games. Especially, I thought you might. I thought you might pick Arizona ASU. I mean,
Well, rivalry week is always a toss up. I'm not
I
going to pick any
actually
rivalry
they
week
they
games.
just missed my list because while I don't think Arizona is going to be amazing. I think they're better. They're much better than last year, and that they'll make it interesting at least.
They did what Stanford couldn't, and they beat Hawaii.
They destroyed Hawaii. It wasn't even close.
Good for them.
But also to your one game, South Carolina, Alabama. Last year, South Carolina controlled that game until the very end. They lost.
Yeah, that's why I phrased it by nail in the coffin.
Hopefully,
finish it. Finish the job. Get it done.
Them in that long list of 32 that I couldn't do. So I definitely was looking forward to that game as well.
32 games.
There's so many good ones, man. I don't know. There's so many.
It's gonna be a good year.
Let's go.
There's
Chance.
So many. Yeah. So to Chase's point, there's way too many games, and you can only pick so many. People might hate my list. It's my list.
It's your list.
It's my list. I picked
Get a list, everybody else.
I didn't pick necessarily the biggest games. I picked the games that I think matter to me or matter the most to other teams. So, like, for example, Georgia and Texas played 2 times last year. It didn't matter the result. They were going to both be in the playoffs. So my list is more reflective on, hey, what stakes are actually on the line here? Because, again, Ohio State, Texas just played. Doesn't matter. They're both going to make the playoffs. Doesn't matter. These games are going to matter. So I did not order them 1 to 10, and then I quickly did. So we'll see. I don't know if it's really my 1 through 10, but I ordered them. So we'll see. I got one honorable mention. I couldn't nail it down to 10. So honorable mention is Texas Tech at Utah.
That'll be interesting.
That's week 4. And then I got week 2 this week, baby. Illinois at Duke is number 10.
This guy. I respect the double down. I respect it, but this guy.
Number 9, I have the biggest game for the group of 5 left, and that's Tulane at Ole Miss. I think it's going to determine who makes the playoffs. If Tulane can't pull this off, I think they're done. But if they can pull this off, I think they've got a really good chance at that playoff spot. Number 8, I expect 2 ranked undefeated teams to play, and it will be week 8, Utah at BYU. Both undefeated and both ranked at the time. After that, it might be a disaster, but that will be a good game. Number 7, week 14, Ohio State at Michigan. It's always a good game. No matter what, Michigan can suck, and they can still beat Ohio State, and it will be so good, even though it won't matter. Number 6, I've got week 14 as well, Clemson at South Carolina, just like Chase. I think that's going to be a really big game. Mm-hmm. I mean, at this point, if Clemson loses that game, they might not make the playoffs.
That could hurt their chances. But they lost it last season, and they still got in because they won their championship.
Yeah, they might just slip in just because of that again. We'll see. Number 5, I've got Oregon at Penn State. I want to see who the real duo is between these two teams. There's not very many chances to play big dogs in the Big Ten, but here's one of them. Number 4, Florida at Miami. I love this game because of what Miami did last year, just blowing them out, flashing signs, telling their recruits that they should go to the U instead of Florida. I kind of want to see Florida give them payback after that. I think that's going to be interesting. Week 8, I want to see Texas Tech and Arizona State because I think these are the 2 big teams. We'll see. And week 8 is going to be a big game. Week 7, I got number 2, South Carolina at LSU because I think one of these teams is going to take that step. LSU already took one of those steps, but I really want to see what's going to happen there.
That'll be interesting. Then, South Carolina is upset with us from last year because they thought they got robbed on a call. So there might be some blood there, bad blood.
There might be some blood. And number 1, there's not going to be very many opportunities to take down this freaking Ohio State team. So week 7, I need Illinois to beat Ohio State. Ohio State has
Would that not be the most beautiful thing you've ever seen?
That would be beautiful.
to have them lose on the road at Illinois. I think it's going to
Ugh.
be a close game, and they barely pull it off, and everybody's going to be so happy.
I would love to see that, but to be fair, I would love to see basically any team beat Ohio State. Sorry, Stan.
Yeah, that's the point. And there's not very many teams that will have the chance. But I think Illinois on the road, a small David versus Goliath. I think David could take him.
All right. Real quick, what week does BYU play Utah?
Week 8.
And you have them both going undefeated to that point?
I do.
So you have Utah beating ASU.
Yes.
Ow.
You thought that was going to get by me. How did you let that get by you, Connor? The second you said that, I went, wait a minute.
I don't have every schedule of every team memorized.
That one up.
See, you think Utah's beating ASU, huh?
It's at Salt Lake City, is it not?
He thinks they're, quote, scary.
Wow.
So I get it.
Wow.
I think that that Utah's defensive line will eat up ASU's offensive line.
Oof, man. That's painful to hear from you. You know, Chan.
Sam Leavitt took some hits this weekend, but it was because of their scheme. They were blitzing on like almost every single play.
Guess what? Utah doesn't need to blitz. Yeah, you heard.
Why are you so defensive of BYU all of a sudden?
It's so funny that.
Or sorry, of Utah all of a sudden.
I don't want to be. That's the problem. I don't want to be.
You know what?
So good. They have so.
You talk about that team as if they're your own flesh and blood.
You know what would make this interesting?
I know that team. I know them.
You know what would make this interesting?
I know that they're good.
Is giving Chance another opportunity to cheer for a team he hates on that hill. Are you willing to die on that hill, Chance?
Are you willing to die on the hill that Utah beats Arizona State?
Utah beating ASU?
Utah beating
Well,
ASU.
Okay, in his defense,
if Connor
the top
agrees.
10 list. Hold on, wait. Let's clarify. Are we still in the top 10 list? Because that's a hot take free zone.
No, it isn't.
Okay, you're right. Was this one of your top 10 picks? This game? Okay.
No, the top 10 list is not.
Chase, you think that's a hot take?
The top 10 list for playoff seeds was a safe place. Top 10 list for who I think is going to be the most entertaining is not a hot free zone. No.
Oh, I guess none of those are really hot takes. That's just hype.
But him giving that little passive aggressive, I think they're going to be undefeated. Okay, put your money where your mouth is, Connor. Are you in agreement?
I hate doing that for Arizona State.
This is a double-sided blade, Connor, because either
sad day.
It is so. I have been burned so many times by manifesting for Arizona State. Do I think they can? Absolutely. But I have said over and over and over again in my life that if I want good things to happen to ASU, I can't say good things happening about them.
That is, oh man, that there's probably
Chase, you feel me.
There's
you
probably
understand.
some truth to that for every Arizona team ever. Actually.
Every time I say something good about Arizona State, it collapses on me.
Yeah, well,
I can't do it.
I died on a hill for a team that I love, and I want to know if you'll die on the hill for a team that you love, Connor.
You know what? It's my dying on the hill. Why are you putting this on Connor?
Well, he's got to be. Fine. He's got to agree with
Chance, are you willing to die on that hill? That
I have to put public enemy number 1 on a hill.
Well, let's go this way. I think a better way to phrase it would be: are you willing to die on the hill that Utah is going to enter the Holy War 8-0?
I like the other one better.
Well, it's too bad. You were more specific about both of these teams being 8-0.
And so he's changing it.
That implies that they're still gonna you think they're still gonna win that game.
You know what, guys? I don't think we need to argue about this because I think we can do both. You
want to do two?
Do you think that they're gonna enter that Holy War game 8-0 chance? Are you willing to die on that hill?
With games against Texas Tech and Arizona State.
See, I would much rather take the Arizona State one than I would 8-0.
Yeah, because he's way more high on Texas Tech this year. He is terrified of Texas Tech.
Are you willing to die?
And admittedly, that's one that I'm not as scared of Texas Tech.
That's not what we're talking about right now, Chance. Are you willing to die on the hill that you think that team will be 8-0 when they get to BYU?
No. If you give me the ASU one, I'll say yes, but that one I'll say no.
All right. I said mine.
Takes. I don't need this. You guys. I have taken way more than both of you. So I don't need this.
You should feel super confident, Chance. You're the only one that doesn't have to spin. You
just got a hot spin.
You should be riding that cloud 9.
You guys are so ready on the ASU one, and then you backtrack because you don't want to bet against your own team.
I didn't backtrack. I said let's start with this one. So are you willing to die on that hill or no?
Chase, you know what? This might be one of the stupidest reasonings I've ever had, but I held hands with Chance throughout the entire pick'ems. If I will ride your confidence, even though you were the one who had the most losses in your pick'ems this week.
I'm tied with you.
Chance, if you're willing to die on that hill, I will die on it with you. Or opposed to you.
that Utah will beat ASU week 8.
Are you willing to die on that hill?
I can die on that hill.
Okay. Where'd our sticky notes go?
You good with that one, Chase?
Yeah.
It was his call out. All right. I'll put it on the sticky note later.
I didn't want to go there.
Hold up. Let me find the sticky note. It was sticky note, but no pen.
Man, the outrage that would have happened if I told you guys I think BYU is going to beat Utah.
I'll find a pen later, but I promise you, it will be on a sticky note.
Okay, I believe you. Now, Connor,
right.
You said some really...
September 1st, Connor... Chance says ASU will lose to Utah.
Connor,
Utah will lose.
You said some really nice things about Tulane. Do you think Tulane's going to beat Ole Miss?
No, I don't.
No,
I said I think that I hope those were games that I'm excited to watch, and that was one of my top 10. So that is a safe.
No,
that is a safe
this
space.
List is not safe. The hot take is
our top 10 lists need to be safe spaces. This is getting ridiculous.
No,
those are on base. That was just me saying. You just said it wasn't. It's just hype. We're just getting excited about. So I'm not going to die on a hill with something I'm excited about.
That's why I'm just asking you. I didn't say it had to be a hot take.
I'm not going to.
I asked you simply, are you willing to die on the hill that you think?
No,
Tulane will beat Ole Miss?
That's a game I'm excited to watch. I hope my list was based on. I hope it's an interesting game.
Connor, you're allowed to say no.
That's what I'm saying.
You're allowed to say no. It's okay. Shh.
Don't listen to him. You aren't allowed to say
no.
Boy.
He
will hunt you down until you say yes.
Chase is still sitting here with one hot take, by the way.
Problem. He has all these soft takes. Just riding on LSU. Nothing else matters. Nobody.
It was a soft take. How is that a soft take? How is LSU winning?
Because it's just one. You're taking every other statistical odd.
In your own words,
Anyways.
Chance, you said there's only one team that can win the Natty. So I don't know how you're saying that's a soft take.
But it's still just
you guys
one.
pick the national championship winner.
One hot take. Everything else is soft.
Soft. There's been nothing else to challenge me about.
Let's wrap this up.
Exactly.
We are running out of time on this episode.
You don't talk any big talk except for LSU. That's it.
Okay. I just put weight on an Arizona State team that has disappointed me my entire life.
That wasn't your take.
I mean,
anyways, we're running out of time on this one, guys. We got to get to our spin.
In Chase's defense, he did put himself out to get that take. So I'll give him credit on that.
You can't go 2 episodes without a take.
That is the hardest take to happen this season. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's time to spin the wheel. We have 2 wheels being spun this week. 1 cold, 1 hot. The hot one will be spun 2 times, once by me and once by Chase, because the Boise State Broncos fell apart in magnificent fashion in their home opener against the South Florida Bulls. Not the Buffalo Bulls.
Connor.
Not the Buffalo Bills. But Byram Brown and the South Florida Bulls destroyed the Boise State Broncos in a bombardment of a blowout. It was rough, and also, it's a spin. Shall we?
To what we discussed before, we actually, because we lost together, we lost as a team, so we get punished as a team. So 1 spin for both of us. We both do the punishment.
We both do the same punishment.
Live and die as a team in the spirit of college football.
Each other's hands.
In the spirit of college football.
Is it sharing? Is the screen sharing right now?
Hey, do you have dealer's choice in there? Oh, you do. We only have 9?
Yeah. Yeah, we took out 2 because they were a little too extreme.
Gotcha. Well, hey,
the ones that we
in the comments, if you guys don't see any, or if you want to add some, we can consider it. So put them in the comments if you see any or think of any hot takes or cold takes that we might be able to add.
And we will explain whatever comes up. This is Chase. This is kind of what I was asking if you wanted to do 2, just so that we could have some variety. But you want to ride or die with me, brother?
Yep.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the inaugural spin of the Hot Routes Hot Takes wheel.
This feels so good.
No! No!
Guys,
you're kidding me!
If you don't know, Connor has hair everywhere.
Yeah, he is a hairy boy.
He is one of the hairiest people I know.
Oh,
he is a Baylor Bear.
Oh,
Connor, you're gonna have fun and Chase. How about those 2 leg hairs that you got?
Oh no!
I have so much hair on my body. This is gonna take 2 seconds.
Like,
I hate spicy food, and I would have so much rather done the 1 chip challenge.
Oh, man.
Oh,
That is great.
That's great. I'm glad you feel bad, Connor. Now you got to spin it again.
Oh.
Before we spin the next wheel, I just gotta say I am disappointed in the Texas A&M fans. We could have had a Yell Squad leader video, but maybe they've had enough. They're embarrassed of their own kind. I don't know. They didn't want another one. That's okay. There could be a dealer's choice. We could still force it.
All right.
Connor,
I was gonna get a haircut this weekend anyway. I guess I can get them all cut. Oh, this is about to be bad.
This is gonna look like Michael Phelps.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that. All right, and I gotta do it again. This does not bode well.
You're doing the cold wheel now, right?
Yep, I also have to spin the cold wheel because the Roadrunners did fall short of A&M, though they put up a truly valiant effort. Okay.
Connor, you ever been waxed before?
Not along like an entire side of me, which is what we were. So basically with the hot wax, you have to wax an entire side of you. So either 1 full leg, 1 full arm, your whole back, or your whole chest.
Oh,
we'll probably make an update, or maybe I have to spin another wheel to decide what part of me is getting waxed.
I would have liked to see the chest, to be honest.
Okay, and this one is solo.
Vote in the comments which appendage you want him to wax.
There we go.
Yeah, I will say, yeah, if you guys, I will leave it up to the comment section. 1 arm, 1 leg, or back, or chest.
For reference, he has a lot of chest and back, so those are the good choices.
For reference, I was not a very good swimmer on my high school swim team. Let's put it that way. For reference, I have gotten out of pools where lifeguards have said, "Oh, what's up, Teen Wolf?" Yeah. For reference, I have higher testosterone than most men would ever dream of achieving.
Whatever you got to tell yourself.
Okay. Cold wheel. Do your worst. This is just me riding by myself.
Maybe you could ice your arm after that. Just
Yeah,
back to back.
ice
Yeah,
box.
maybe you can ice something else.
I don't
All
know,
right.
you might look like a cute person or Elsa lady now.
No, 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 no.
No way.
Okay, so this means that Chance and Chase get to choose my challenge for me from the
Okay,
wheel.
No.
They can make me do any of these
We're doing the Elsa
that they
video.
want. No, it's got to be one of the cold themed challenges.
No, come on, dealer's choice has.
That was the whole point of the dealer's choice. Is to... No, that's not even a cold theme though. No, it's got to be from the wheel. The dealer's choice is you pick from the wheel which one you want me to do. You wish. You're not getting that one that easy. You're not getting that one, period.
Oh man.
I was only going to allow that one because that's neither a hot nor cold theme. So that one was only going to be allowed.
All right. How about this?
It was
How
so
many
specific.
people in the comments do we need to rage over this to make it happen?
I don't think that many people are going to want to see Yell Squad over any of these given ones, especially because we haven't really explained them, which is why Dealer's Choice is a rough one to start with. You got to give the people something off the wheel so they can have an idea.
Would you rather be shot by meatballs or make a Yell Squad video?
The meatball cannon is more of a euphemism. We were gonna get a baseball team or a softball team to pelt me with meatballs, frozen meatballs, like a Costco-sized bag of frozen meatballs from whatever close range on that one. That was
You would rather be pelted with balls of meat
than have to do an entire Yell Squad.
You would rather
Yeah.
rather dress as Elsa in a sports bar, watch a game, than do the Yell Squad video. Connor, I will pick the most difficult, embarrassing one on this wheel unless you do the Yell Squad video.
So the Elsa one?
Probably.
This is what's even funnier. That was Connor's idea. That he put that one on there and talked about it and defended it, and then he spit
I think my wife originally came up with the idea.
even better because she
really enjoyed it.
Waxed and ready for your outfit.
Yeah, you're gonna be a very convincing Elsa if that's what Chance.
Okay, we'll get this clip up in a hurry, and I'm gonna leave it up to the comments. The comments section, here is your choice on the cold. You either say Yell Squad or we pick from the wheel. That's your choice. Okay? That's where the comments are coming in on this, and I will absolutely respect the results of the comments. We'll get it up quickly, and we'll give it about a week to get all our comments going. Okay. I'm gonna let's call this while I
got his 2 nightmare picks happen on the wheel.
So done.
I didn't even get to see what the wheel landed on before I heard Connor go, "No!"
Same. It lagged and I didn't see it, but I could hear his screaming pain.
Oh my god.
Any parting shots, anybody, before we wrap this up?
Oh man.
Well, I mean, if you don't lose, you don't have to spin the wheel. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, Chance, yours is coming. You've got a lot coming your way. You've got 3 coming your way.
Oh man.
Starting this weekend.
You have 3 coming for teams that you do not like. So
yeah.
I picked all teams I don't like. I mean, I don't hate
Yeah.
Or
Duke,
basketball.
Bama, and Utah are your hot takes right now. You're a madman.
That is mad. I will admit that is mad. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is a lot of yours aren't going to come for like 2 more months.
He's gonna have a rough December though.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
That'll be our
Guess
Christmas
what? When it
present.
starts snowing, you're going to be
is
doing
him
some. You're going to be doing
suffering.
some bear crawls through the snowy
Connor,
fields.
next episode, we got to watch Chase like a hawk. He's got to get another take. When he
Yeah.
says something that just doesn't sit right, we've got to call him out.
Got to pounce. All right, pounce like a tiger.
That's more petty than your shirt. Just saying.
It's more petty than your shirt. How many takes
Yeah.
do I have now? Was that 5? 5-1?
That's 4. That's 4 for you. But you're 1-0. You're 1-0 in takes right now.
I think that's 5 takes for me. I got Duke.
I
got Alabama. I got Utah. Oh, I guess
you got USF.
Okay, only 4.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. There are 7 total. I had 2. Chase has 1. You had 4.
I have more than you guys combined.
I tried to get Connor.
Yeah.
He wouldn't bet on
you
me.
just try to get yourself.
He also has double the.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me get myself. I think this. Chase, do you want to die on that hill?
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been week 1 of the Concussion Protocol podcast and of college football. What a ride. Next week, hopefully, is going to be a little bit quieter, a little less stakes. We can roll into that 3rd week of non-conference games. That doesn't mean there's nothing, though. But we're going to be with you every step of the way. We're having a blast. We hope you are, too. Please like, subscribe, comment, follow, all the good stuff. We are on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify. We would love to have you guys engaged as much as possible. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts. Where are we making you mad? Where are we giving you hopes? Where are we just so wrong? Like these Texas and Ohio State fans are all telling us every day, where our Alabama fans are misspelling the word strength of schedule and in their misinterpretation of our hot takes. We're going to be here with you every step of the way. We love it. We love college football. We'll see you guys next time.